Imagine this, a new rule. A seemingly harmless, bureaucratic hoop to jump through. But what happens when that hoop becomes a runway for pure, unadulterated defiance? What if the ultimate act of rebellion isn't a grand speech or a walkout, but a perfectly timed, very public exposure? This is the story of how one man, faced with a ridiculous demand, found a way to deliver a message so clear, so undeniable, it might just redefine the meaning of in-compliance. Our antagonist wasn't a ruthless CEO or a shadowy cartel. No, our villain was a boss, or perhaps more accurately, a boss's boss. A man who, faced with a new federal regulation, saw not a necessary step, but an affront. A suggestion that his team, his meticulously trained professionals, might not be doing their jobs correctly. The mandate was simple, yet maddening. After packing a boxcar with custom-cut cardboard structures to prevent shifting, you had to take a photograph of the finished load. A picture. For the feds. Now, you might think, okay, a photo. What's the big deal? But in the sterile, industrial landscape of this factory yard, this was an insult. The powers that be seemed to think that a snapshot with the door ajar would somehow prove diligence, even though you could barely see a fraction of the packed cargo. For our boss, this felt like a slap in the face. His team knew their craft. They packed those boxcars like works of art. And now they were being asked to prove it with a photo op that was frankly impossible to judge. But his boss had a different vision for compliance. He took the camera. He set up the shot as instructed. The boxcar was packed, the door was open, the photo was about to be taken. And then, with the steely resolve of a man who had clearly reached his limit, he did the unthinkable. He dropped his pants, and he mooned the camera. Every single boxcar, every single photograph. A full, unobstructed view of his derriere staring back at the federal agency that dared to question his methods. The financial implication? Hours of work, potentially millions in shipped goods, all tied up in this absurd photographic requirement. And the time? A whole day spent not packing, not shipping, but engaging in the most elaborate box-side-centric protest imaginable. The inevitable consequence? He was let go, or as they euphemistically put it, given an early retirement. But here's the beautiful, infuriating irony. The company had to submit those pictures. They were the only ones they had. And as far as the regulations were concerned, they were technically in compliance, because nowhere in the federal mandate did it specify that the cargo had to be the primary subject of the photograph. The federal agency got their pictures, and every single one of them featured a man, quite literally, showing his whole entire commitment to the job.